So now the types of meristem on the basis of location, position. The first category which I will be dealing here, that is apical meristem. Apical meristem which is present at the apex of shoot. Yes, जो शूट की एपेक्स पर प्रेजेंट है उसको हम कहेंगे शूट एपिकल मेरिस्टेम. शूट एपिकल मेरिस्टेम and the meristem which is present at the apex of root, simply you are going to call it as root apical meristem. So the two types of the apical meristem, one is SAM, S-A-M, that is shoot apical meristem. Another is RAM, that is root apical meristem. Now the shoot apical meristem, it is terminal in position. जैसे ये मैंने अगर शूट बनाई है, यस दिस इज शूट, तो एट द टिप, यस एट द एपेक्स there is presence of shoot apical meristem. Yes, this is shoot apical meristem. So the shoot apical meristem is present at the apex. It is terminal in position. But what about the root apical meristem? Let's say this is a root. Yes, this is root apical meristem. This is root apical meristem. But now this root apical meristem, it is protected. It is covered. It is protected with the help of covering. That covering is known as root cap. So it means at the apex what is present? Root cap. And this root apical meristem is present below the apex. So now you are not going to call it as terminal. It is below the root cap. So it is subterminal in position. The shoot apical meristem is long. Yes, this shoot apical meristem is long. It covers the distance of around 1 centimeter. But the root apical meristem, comparatively, it is shorter. Yes, comparatively shorter, covering the distance only around 1 millimeter. Yes, 1 millimeter or even less than that. Now, what is the function of the shoot apical meristem? How the shoot apical meristem, it will cut the cells. Now, the shoot apical meristem, through its meristematic activity, it will add the cells only in the lower direction when it will perform the division. When it will show the meristematic activity, it will cut the cells only in the lower side, that is basal position, basal region. Cut cells in basal region. But what about the RAM, root apical meristem? जब ये मेरिस्टेमेटिक एक्टिविटी परफॉर्म करेगी तो ये सेल्स कट करेगी बोथ इन दी लोअर पोजीशन एज वेल एज it will add the cells in the upper position. So it will cut the cells both towards the apex as well as towards the base. Cut cells towards the apex, that is here, as well as it will cut cells towards the lower region region, that is the basal region. Now both of these apical meristem, they are primary in origin. Both of them, they are primary. They are primary in origin. It means the type of tissue which they will form after the differentiation, that is primary permanent tissue. Yes, primary permanent tissue. If the primary permanent tissue, it is added by the root apical meristem here. So this is going to result in the elongation of the shoot. If the primary permanent tissue is added by the root apical meristem here, so this is going to result in the elongation of the root. So the function of the apical meristem is they are involved in the increase in length of shoot and increase in the length of root. So this was the apical meristem present at the apex of root and shoot. After this we will be dealing intercalary meristem. Now, intercalary meristem. Now, this is shoot. As we have already discussed, at the tip of the shoot, there is presence of apical meristem. Now, some of the cells of the apical meristem, yes, they separate and acquire the lower position. Some of the cells of the apical meristem separate and acquires the lower position in the shoot. These separated cells from the apical meristem represents intercalary meristem. So what is intercalary meristem? Just separated cells of apical meristem. So let's write it down. Apical cells से derive हुई है. These are separated cells of apical meristem. Got it? अब ये जो मेरिस्टम है इसको हम कह रहे हैं इंटरकैलरी मेरिस्टम. इस मेरिस्टम के ऊपर कौन सा टिश्यू होगा? परमानेंट टिश्यू. यस, दिस इज परमानेंट, दिस इज मेरिस्टम, दिस इज मेरिस्टम, और ये बीच पे कौन सा टिश्यू है? परमानेंट टिश्यू. इसके नीचे कौन सा टिश्यू है? permanent tissue. So it means this meristem is present between two permanent tissue. This meristem is intercalated between two permanent tissue. That's why this meristem, it is known as intercalary meristem. You got it? This meristem is intercalated between the permanent tissue. Between the permanent tissue, that's why known as intercalary meristem. Now let's see where the intercalary meristem can be present. Now the characteristic feature of the stem is it is divided into the nodes and internodes. Let's say this is our node. Yes. This is our node. This is also our node. And the place this between the two nodes, it is going to represent internodal region. This is internode. Now this intercalary meristem, it can be present above the node as I have represented here. It can also be present below the node. Along with that, over the node, you know there is presence of leaves. So these meristem, they can also be present at the base of leaf. So you're getting this? Can be present above the node, below the node, as well as at the base of leaf. So let's write it down. Above node, it is seen in the case of grasses. Grasses, one of the category of plants under the monocot. Along with that, also seen in the lower plant. Yes, in the lower plant, that is Equisetum. It comes under the category of pteridophytes. Can be present below the node. This is seen in mint. Right? Can be present at base of leaf. Base of leaf. This is seen in Pinus. Pinus, you have studied it under the category of gymnosperms. In the Pinus, you have studied there is presence of needle-shaped leaf, right? Below the needle-shaped leaf, there is presence of intercalary meristem. Here. Now, intercalary meristem, surely it is a primary meristem. It is derived from apical meristem which is primary in origin. So surely it is a primary meristem. Function of the primary meristem, it results in the formation of primary permanent tissue. Primary permanent tissue. Now these two features of apical meristem and intercalary meristem, they are same. So let's see now what is the differences between the apical and intercalary meristem. Apical meristem, with respect to the position, we can easily say it is present at apex. Intercalary meristem present between the permanent tissues. Got it? Now the apical meristem, it is present in the plant throughout its life cycle. It is active in the plant throughout its life cycle. पूरी लाइफ साइकिल के टाइम पर एक्टिव है. So you can say it is long lived. What about the intercalary meristem? Intercalary meristem, it is consumed soon. Yes, it is soon consumed for the formation of permanent tissue. It is soon consumed. That's why now you are going to call it as short-lived. Got this difference? Going to be long-lived and this one is consumed. That's why short-lived. Now after the intercalary meristem, last category on the basis of position, that is lateral meristem. Lateral meristem. As the name suggests, the lateral meristem, it is present on the sides of organ. Yes, let's say this is our shoot. Yes, so in the shoot, if the meristem is present here, what is this meristem known as? Very good, at the apex, apical meristem. If the meristem is present here, it is intercalary meristem. And the meristem in the shoot can also be present on the sides, like this. Yes, on the sides. The meristem which is present on the sides. Now this is going to represent lateral meristem, right? So the lateral meristem is present on the sides of organ. Now this lateral meristem, it can be both primary as well as secondary. प्राइमरी भी हो सकती है और सेकेंडरी भी हो सकती है. सिर्फ एक ही ऐसी प्राइमरी मेरिस्टेम है जो लेटरल इन पोजीशन है. द नेम ऑफ दैट मेरिस्टेम इज इंट्राफैसिकुलर कैम्बियम. ओनली वन प्राइमरी मेरिस्टेम is lateral, that is intrafascicular cambium. Along with that, it can also be known as fascicular cambium. Now this intrafascicular cambium is present in the vascular bundle. In the vascular bundle between phloem, right phloem and xylem. And I want to make one point clear here. The lateral meristem is only seen in dicots and in the gymnosperm, not in the case of monocots. Going to be seen in dicots and gymnosperms. Right? Now, to view the intrafascicular cambium, to see exactly what is its position, I am making transverse section of dicot stem here. Yes, so this is transverse section of dicot stem. In the dicot stem, there is presence of these vascular bundles. Vascular bundles. So you can see the vascular bundles. They are arranged in the form of ring. Right? Now this part of the vascular bundle, it is representing primary phloem. Primary phloem, you understand? This is the primary permanent tissue formed in the beginning. It is present in the plant from the beginning. Yes, this one, yes, on the lower side, this is representing primary xylem. Primary phloem, primary xylem together going to constitute the vascular bundle. And in the vascular bundle, phloem और xylem के बीच में, फ्लोएम और जाइलम के बीच में ये मैंने बनाई है लेटरल मेरिस्टेम. एंड दिस लेटरल मेरिस्टेम इट इज इंट्राफैसिकुलर कैम्बियम. यस, राइट FC फॉर fascicular cambium. So you got this. This is phloem, primary phloem. This is primary xylem. इन दोनों के बीच में, yes, xylem और phloem के बीच में there is presence of intrafascicular cambium. So what is the intrafascicular cambium? It is present in the vascular bundle, going to be seen in the dicots and gymnosperms, and in the case of the monocot it is absent. Now this intrafascicular cambium, it is primary in origin. Yes, it is primary in origin, present in the plant from the beginning. But the functioning of this cambium, it is secondary. The functioning of this cambium is just like the secondary meristem. Function is like secondary meristem. If the function is like the secondary meristem, it means now it will form secondary permanent tissue, right? It will form secondary permanent tissue. So it should be very much clear in the mind. This is very important fact here, that only one primary meristem is lateral in position. What is the name of that meristem? Intrafascicular cambium. Though it is primary in origin, but its functioning is like secondary meristem. So it means it will surely form secondary permanent tissue. So this one is clear. What is this? Primary lateral meristem. So now we are going to deal with secondary one. Now the secondary meristem, the example here is interfascicular cambium formed in the dicot stem. One example is interfascicular cambium formed in the dicot stem. Another is cork cambium formed in the dicot stem as well as root. Right? Another example is vascular cambium formed in the root. Along with that, wound cambium. So these all are the example of secondary lateral meristem. We are going to discuss all these meristem while dealing with the secondary growth. That is the last topic for this chapter. But here for the understanding, I will be dealing with this interfascicular cambium. Right? Now, between the two vascular bundle here, there is presence of primary permanent tissue. Yes, between the vascular bundle, there is presence of primary permanent tissue. The primary permanent tissue which is present, that is medullary rays. And these medullary rays, they are made up of thin cells, that is parenchyma. Thin cells ka bana hua, that is parenchyma. Now, during the later stages, the cells of parenchyma, they will regain the capacity of division. Secondary meristem की तो formation ऐसी होती है. Permanent cells, they will regain the capacity of division, converted into the secondary meristem. So the same is going to happen here. तो यहाँ पर जो cells हैं medullary rays के, parenchyma के cells, they will be forming meristem. Yes. तो सारे vascular bundles के बीच में यहाँ पर मेरिस्टेम बनेगी. ये जो मेरिस्टेम परमानेंट सेल से बन रही है, दिस इज सेकेंडरी मेरिस्टेम. सेकेंडरी मेरिस्टेम. अब ये जो केम्बियम है, ये केम्बियम वैस्कुलर बंडल के अंदर नहीं है. नाउ दिस केम्बियम इज प्रेजेंट बिटवीन टू वैस्कुलर बंडल. The cambium which is present between two vascular bundle, now it is known as interfascicular cambium. This is interfascicular cambium. Got this or not? जो cambium vascular bundle के अंदर है, that is interfascicular cambium. ओरिजिन कैसा है उसका? प्राइमरी, शुरू से प्रेजेंट है. जो केम्बियम दो वैस्कुलर बंडल के बीच में है, व्हाट इज दिस? इंटरफैसिकुलर केम्बियम. ये शुरू से नहीं प्रेजेंट है. इट इज फॉर्म्ड लेटर ड्यूरिंग द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द प्लांट. सो दिस इज सेकेंडरी इन ओरिजिन. गॉट दिस? Now you can simply tell me the process through which this interfascicular cambium is formed. Which process? Differentiation, redifferentiation or dedifferentiation? Yes, the process involved here is dedifferentiation. Got this? Now what will happen? What is this? Intra. What is this? Inter. Both of them, they are going to join. The two cambiums, they are going to join. Yes. So after the joining, there is formation of a ring. Can you see here the ring? This ring which is formed, this is known as vascular cambium. Vascular cambium. This is a ring which is formed. Now this vascular cambium, now it will perform its activity. It will cut the cells towards the outer side as well as cut the cells towards the inner side. बाहर की तरफ भी सेल्स कट होंगे, अंदर की तरफ भी सेल्स कट करेंगे. जो सेल्स बाहर की तरफ कट होंगे यहाँ पर they are differentiated into the secondary phloem. जो सेल्स अंदर की तरफ कट होंगे here the cells they are differentiated into secondary xylem. Yes. So this is secondary permanent tissue. That is the function of the secondary meristem. Right? तो बाहर की तरफ भी सेल्स कट हो रहे हैं, अंदर की तरफ भी सेल्स कट हो रहे हैं. And what is going to be the result of that? The result of that is that now the diameter of the organ is going to increase. Now the girth of the organ is going to increase. That is the main function of the secondary meristem which we have discussed earlier. So whether it is a primary lateral meristem or it is a secondary lateral meristem, it will form the secondary permanent tissue. And what is going to be the result of that? The result is increase in the diameter. So we can write it down here. The lateral meristem has the ability to cut cells towards outer side, cut cells towards inner side. And what is the result? Result is increase in the girth of the organ. So you got this? Yes. So we have here discussed the different types of the lateral meristem, primary and secondary. After this, now we are going to deal the organization of shoot apex and root apex.